Hey, I'm Gigi. I'm an ex-Amazon bar raiser here at Day One Careers. So let's start this video with a hug, go cuddle, 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 and a few conciliatory words, because if you're watching this video, then you probably didn't make it into Amazon this time. So let's start with those conciliatory words about an Amazon interview failure. Firstly, it's entirely possible to have brought the very best version of you and have done everything you possibly could and still not get the role. And that's because there are two key things that are entirely out of your control to do anything about that can lead to that Amazon interview failure. One is the quality of the people currently inside Amazon. You're being judged against them as the key variable in the decision, and you've got absolutely no visibility into that. You don't know the complexity of the type of work that they do, the scope of the work they do, the level and consistency of the behaviors they display. And then the second is your examples from your career history. I mean, yes, certainly you can use our course at Day One Careers to study up on the leadership principles, to learn the critical trigger concepts and learn what the interviewer is looking for, or any other course. Not as good, obviously, but at the end of the day, you had the career that you had. You can't travel back in time to change it, to have worked on bigger and more complicated projects. I mean, Lord, the use that I would make of such ability to time travel. Amazon 1998, here I'd come, I'd be rich. Anyway, so look, if you really feel you were outstanding and you still didn't get the job, then please do take some comfort that you probably couldn't have done anything more or anything differently. Although, look, I appreciate that it's going to be pretty cold comfort at this point. The big question is then, what happens next? Is there life after an Amazon interview failure? Well, look, of course there is. So I want to share with you a couple of strategies to get you back on track. I guess the first thing that you should do is allow yourself time to grieve. I mean, I know it sounds a little bit dramatic, but I know there's a lot of emotion tied up with interviewing. It impacts your feeling of self-worth, your energy levels, your optimism. So I would say, give yourself a few days to feel crappy and miserable. Eat chocolate, crisps, that's chips if you're in the US, and you can also then eat chips if you're in the UK. You take my point, whatever it takes. But, just to be clear that here at Day One Careers, we don't advocate for the use of alcohol, sex, or drugs as a measure for consolation. Okay, maybe the sex, but then that's an entirely different channel. Let's not go there. Okay, so don't wallow on it for too long, just a couple of days, and then it's time to put your big person pants on and face the world again. That could be either types of pants, UK or US version. So the second thing you should do, if you don't know this already and you didn't take the advice from my other videos, is find out if you are able to apply again immediately or if you are in a cooling off period. Now, if you don't know what a cooling off period is, I do have a link in the description to a video that I did on that subject. Your recruiter should be able to tell you. If you are able to apply straight away, then in most people's cases, I would say just go ahead and do so. The only times I'd caution against this is if you've had a string of maybe 3 interview failures in the last 6 months. I'd suggest those people take themselves off for a voluntary 6 to 12 month pause, get some more experience, some stronger examples. The third thing you should do is spend some time reflecting on what might have gone wrong. If you've watched our other video on feedback, you'll know you won't get any information from Amazon, but I hope you'll have used the advice from that video and have spent some time trying to remember and write down every detail of your interview. If you have that document, just try to be vocally self-critical and reflect on what perhaps you could have done better and then work on that. Now, if making it into Amazon is still a really important goal of yours, I genuinely suggest you get some personal advice from an expert. If you know anyone on the inside, which is like the best route, try to get them to do a mock interview with you. And of course, if you can afford it, get a session with an ex-Amazon coach. There is nothing like someone who knows the Amazon way of interviewing from the inside dissecting your performance. The final bit of advice I'll give you is do try to see the positives in the experience. I know it's hard. I know it may feel like hours and hours of totally wasted effort, but I promise you it isn't. What you learn preparing for an Amazon behavioral interview will set you up for success in any behavioral interview you have going forward. It's also going to have been an amazing forcing function to get you to reflect on and document your career achievements, which almost no one other than the really smart people does on a weekly basis. So with all that said, if we're now parting company as you step away from the Amazon interview process, I just want to thank you for bringing me and the Day One Careers team on your journey, and we hope to see you again. If you found this useful, please do give us a little thumbs up or drop a comment. Now what you need to do is click the link here to claim your free Day One Careers Customer Obsession Taster course. Watch that and you'll nail every customer obsession question asked of you in your Amazon interview. Or if you want to do that a little bit later, why don't you check out more here of our incredible insights and advice on Amazon interview preparation.